One of the reasons that we find correlation and linear regression is to be able to use that model to make predictions. Today we're going to use a linear model to make a prediction for x and for y. So our example says a regression was run to determine if there is a relationship between hours of TV watched per day, x, and number of push-ups a person can do, y. The results of the regression were, so the computer gives us these values. So m equals negative 1.40, b is 21.16, r squared is 0.6123, and r equals negative 0.7825. Now the two things we need for our linear equation are m and b, so the slope and the y-intercept. R squared is something you'll learn about if you take AP statistics, and R is our correlation. Now, because slope and R are both negative, that means there's a negative relationship between hours of TV watched per day in this example and number of push-ups a person can do. So that means as one variable, the number of TV hours watched per day increases, the other variable, the push-ups, decreases. Now let's write our equation. So we're keeping our equations in mx plus b, so our equation for this example would be y equals negative 1.40x plus 21.16. We're going to use that to make predictions for question 1 and 2 below. So it says, for your answers below, round to one decimal place. 1. Use this to predict the number of push-ups a person who watches 2.5 hours of TV can do. Now let's annotate the important info, 2 hours of TV. Now in our example, hours of TV watched per day is x. So we're going to plug 2.5 in for x in our equation. So for 1, we're going to replace the x with 2.5. So y equals negative 1.40 times 2.5 plus 21.16. Next step, you're going to multiply those two values together, which I'll just skip the multiplication and show you the answer is negative 3.5. You can just find that using a calculator. And then we still have to add the 21.16. So our next step, we have these like terms on the same side of the equal sign, so we'll combine them. So we'll add negative 3.5 to 21.16, and that gets us 17.66. Now we're almost done. We have one more step because it says they want us to write our answer rounded to one decimal place. So to round, you look at the next place after the place you want. So we want the first decimal place, so we're going to look at the next number. If that number is 5 or bigger, we're going to round the number we want up. Because 6 is bigger than 5, we're going to round that up to 17.7. So a person who watches 2.5 hours of TV would on average do about 17.7 push-ups. All right, for question 2, it says, if you can do 15 push-ups, how many hours of TV do you watch each day? Now, if we look back up at our problem, push-ups is the y variable. So we're going to replace y with 15. Let me give myself some room. All right, so let's set up our equation. Instead of y, we're going to write 15 equals negative 0.40x plus 21.16. This is just a two-step equation. First, we want to move the constants to one side. So we have 15 on the left and 21.16 on the right. So let's subtract 21.16 from both sides. And then on the right, we're just left with negative 1.40x. And on the left side, we get negative 6.16. Our last step is to divide by the coefficient, negative 1.40. And that gives us our answer. So it gives us x equals 4.4. And we need to round our answer to 1 decimal place. However, our answer is already 1 decimal, 4.4, so that's our answer. So if someone can do 15 push-ups, on average they watch 4.4 hours of TV a day. Now, of course, this doesn't tell you that everybody who watches 4.4 hours of TV a day can do 15 push-ups. This is just an average, because you could find someone that watches only 2 hours of TV per day, but they can only do 15 push-ups. So this is just a prediction. Thanks for watching.